Live, Jeremy. Are you finished with that drink? We're gonna go live. Where's my drink? Headphone.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. I think we're live. We're live on Amazon. We're live on YouTube at youtube.com/pixelstabbers, on Amazon Live, under Utechpia. And we are Pixel Stabbers. This is down here. We got Jeremy Chan, photographer for the last 15 years, also a graphics artist. Myself, David Nguyen, photographer for the last 10 years, doing wedding photography as well. Not a graphics artist, but I shoot pictures and out of camera. They're good enough to make me money. He does pictures out of cameras, plus he adds a ton of awesome digital processing and makes tons more money. So that's what he does, and that's what I do. Hey, lighting's a little bit dark on your face when you turn, just FYI.
Oh.
Yeah. We gotta get the lighting right on our live stream because we do lighting on our day-to-day basis. So let's get lighting looking good. Anyway, so today in this video, we're gonna break down like what it is that makes. Actually, let me bring up the thumbnail. So we're gonna compare the EOS R5 with the GFX50. So as we all know, the EOS R5 is a full frame format, and the GFX50 is a medium format, which is a whole different ball game. But look at these prices.
Yeah, why are we comparing them?
I don't know, Jeremy. This is your idea, so we're gonna talk about today. So
Okay.
So tell me.
Okay.
So let's just get into it. So
that
yes.
some Australian camera store rumor has lit out a price of the EOS R5, which is around like $6,700 US.
That's definitely a rumor.
Rumor has it.
Yes.
You see, there's two questions. There's a rumor.
Yeah.
But right now the price is not leaked yet. Okay, there's not official yet.
Yes. I
So
agree.
for that, that lead is from an Australia camera company. You know, obviously camera company purchased from Canon. They probably all the camera company already know the price, right? The retail price. They just not.
Yeah, they probably do. Yeah, because they have to understand how many to order. They have to know their inventory, whatnot, right?
Yeah. So for the internet right now, people just like, there's no way that could be 6,400. It's only full frame, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people kind of know that. So there's two kind of formula right now. One is like, oh no, by looking at how Canon's pricing on a lot of camera and the features, it's probably around 4,000 ish, right? So one part will say that, and then the other part will say, no, Canon's finance is not as good as before with the current situation, and they probably want to make more money from each unit, so that could be that price. You know, if the Canon fanboy, they will probably still pay for the $6,700 for R5. Who knows? So that was the two kind of talking right now. But let's just assume that the latest leak, it is actually 6,700 from an Australian camera company, like rumor. Okay, just saying that. Now, if a full frame camera, even though it had all that features in there, but Fuji GFX medium format, this one here is a GFX50S. It brand new, body only costs $5,499.
Yeah.
So a full frame camera is more expensive than a medium format. So this is where we could talk about.
Okay.
Right?
That's a good topic. I like it. This is a good idea. You brought up a great topic. And just so that I can debunk your rumor, I see your argument why $6,700 might be the price. I highly doubt it. And the reason for that
I highly doubt it too. It's just too crazy.
Yeah, and it makes sense. It might be the reason why people are posting this price is just to get media attention. Maybe those websites are doing it just to get their name out and people start talking about this website. Is it Australian website you said?
Yeah.
That posted it? So now everyone knows that particular website. I don't, but like if I Google it, I'll find out which website it is, right? So they're getting a lot of free press, free attraction to their website for sure. The reason why I don't think this price is reasonable for R5 is because I've been with Canon for over 10 years and I have a good understanding of their lineup. And basically the R5 is going to be the mirrorless equivalent in their 5 series line, which is equivalent to the EOS 5D, Mark III, Mark IV, whatever.
I have no idea. I never follow Canon, never own Canon, never touch a Canon.
Okay, so the way Canon works is the smaller the number, the higher end the camera lineup is, right? So for example, you got the 500.
DX is probably the highest, right?
Right, the 500 series, the D500D, and then the 50D, and then the 5D, then the 1D, right? So the 1D is like the super camera, the 5D is like the high professional camera, and then the 50D is more like a professional but on the consumer line, and the 500D is like pretty much just consumer grade, right? So on the EOS R series, it should be parallel to that, and because of that, the R5 should be parallel to the 5D.
5D Mark IV-ish?
Yeah. Yes. So therefore, the 5D Mark IV is around, what, 4,500, 3,500? So I think this camera cannot be more than 4,000. And if it is, then there's some weird stuff with the lineup. Things are going to definitely change. Now, this camera does have all the features and the kitchen sink that Canon's technology has out there. So they're really throwing everything in one camera, which Canon has actually been notoriously to not do. They've always been notorious to leave something out to make it the perfect camera. And the business reason for that is so that they can sell other cameras and they don't cripple business in other cameras. But if they do it to this camera, it will cripple their other cameras. Like their professional cinema cameras can't even do 8K video, whereas this R5 can. So maybe that might justify a more expensive price.
Well, I don't believe it's 6400 either. It's just too crazy, even though you can shoot 8K. But compared to, let's say, the Sony line, the Sony A7 IV Mark II, it currently costs $4,500 retail. So around the 4,000 range, I think is about right.
I think so too. Let's see what happens.
But still, let's just say if it dropped down to 4,500, 4,500 on a full frame and 5,500 for a GFX medium format, $1,000 difference.
All right, battle on. Let's. I will fight you on that battle. Let's say if
I'm not fighting you.
Okay, let's discuss.
I would never get like Canon ever.
All right, so we're gonna discuss this, and I would say at 4,500. So we're saying, 4,500 to 5,500. That's our battlefield, right? I would still take the.
So I mean, do you sound a little more legit? Like if Sony's selling the A9 Mark II, it's around 4,500. So with the EOS R5, it's probably around maybe. I would say because it we'll see.
I would say 3,700 to 4,000 is my feel.
There is no way it could be under 4,000 for this camera.
Hey, if
Canon
they do,
is not making money. I can tell you that.
But also, Canon is every camera manufacturer is struggling right now because of the health pandemic situation. No one's buying camera. Camera sales are just going down because professionals aren't really making money with these cameras right now. Like our industries, you and I, we're wedding photographers. All of our bookings are rescheduled or canceled. We're not making money and we're not using cameras, right? And hobbyists are not buying cameras because they can't really go out to shoot. So camera sales are really low. So maybe, if Canon wants to sell a lot of these, they have to price it very competitively. So we'll see. We'll see. I have my fingers crossed that it's $3,700 because I really want to get this camera. But if it's 4,000, I'll still get it. And if it's 4,200, I'll still get it. If it's 4,500, I might still get it.
Where's your argument? It's like you get it anyway.
That's why I'd rather get the EOS R5 than the GFX. And that's why we have this discussion right now, right? Because no matter what, you're gonna get the GFX. So let's talk.
We're friend, we're buddy, we're not fighting. We're just discussing.
All right, that sounds good. And we're pizza stabbers, so I'll just discuss and I'll stab you a few times, right?
That hurts.
All right, but at the end of this day, we're still friends. We're still photographers. We still take pictures, and even with a cell phone, we can take amazing pictures because that is the art of photography.
I don't know, man. Personally, I really suck with my cell phone taking pictures. My wife said, "Are you really a photographer?" I keep every time I pick up a cell phone, I don't know what to do with it.
Because you don't think when you use a cell phone. Because you think when you hold a camera. Because you're trained to think as a photographer. But when you're thinking about camera...
not just that. I don't even know how to turn on the camera because she's using an iPhone. I never know how to turn on the camera. How do we do this? It's like...
Dude, iPhone is the easiest camera. And I think it's the best camera out of any cell phone. But that's a discussion for a different day. So... on one corner is the EOS R5 at $4,000. On the other corner is the GFX50 at $5,500, and you can get much cheaper used as well. So your defending argument for the EOS, for the GFX50, what is it? So why GFX50?
I am not playing a features or function war with you because the medium format were never meant to do what a full frame camera do.
Okay.
They are different beasts.
Okay.
For example, the GFX50s, they only shoot like buzz mode, only 3 frames per second. So that's nothing. And autofocus is only like contrast. But the ultimately is the medium format. The image quality is superior.
Okay.
And basically, my love of the camera is not this one, this thumbnail one.
Okay.
It's actually the GFX50R. So for the
GFX50R, let's bring that up. This one right here, right? Okay.
Yes. This is the only digital mirrorless medium format rangefinder.
Ooh, what
camera.
Does that mean?
Meaning the viewfinder is on the left. It's not in the middle.
Oh yeah, right.
It's a vintage looking medium format mirrorless camera. It's one of a kind.
Right. This is the viewfinder right here, right? Or is it the flash?
Behind it.
Okay.
No, it's behind it. It's not an optical one.
So what,
it's not
what
optical
is this
one.
dot
It's digital.
for?
I think that's a meter.
Okay. Got it. But basically, the viewfinder is on the side, not in the center, like the typical DSLR, right? Because like if you look at, I think just for comparison, if we look at GFX50S, oops, I messed up. That's not.
This is
Yeah. So if I look at the GFX50S, right?
So the 50S is more like DSLR style. You see how it has the wheel finder on top?
Yep.
And then the wheel finder actually can flip.
Yeah.
You can flip up, flip, and flip sideways. So this camera, S is for, I forgot what S stands for, but studio. That's right. S stands for studio. This is built for studios use.
Okay.
So, you could basically set a tripod, and then if it's too low, you can flip the wheel finder up, and then you flip on the top, or But most of the time, if you're doing studio, your medium format, you will go with tethering anyway. So the wheel finder don't mean crap to you in this case.
Right. And but the price is quite different, right? Because right now the GFX50S is actually that bigger price that you shared with us. Was it 5,500, right?
Yeah, 5,500. While the 50S is around like 3,500 ish.
Yeah, right now actually on Amazon,
even cheaper than
cheaper.
A medium format.
A full format.
So if you a full frame. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as full format. It's only full frame.
Yeah.
Right? They don't call it full format. They only medium format.
Right.
They don't call it medium frame.
Right. So the GFX50 on Amazon right now, the R, is actually $1,000 off right now. Like,
right? So
that's actually
isn't that cool?
That's actually really cool.
That's the combo I want to get.
That helps your argument a lot. Like at this price, that's actually really good. So
you can't even get a Sony with that price.
I know. And then let's see at the used price. Dude, it's the same price as the used price.
Oh no, they stand free shipping and other stuff. So.
Oh man, this is really good. Like right now, anyone watching this video, if you want a GFX, if you want a medium format, $3,500. Okay, that's a good deal. Like,
see, it works because last time I did like a Microsoft commercial.
Yeah.
And I asked Fuji to, well, I didn't own a medium format back then, and I asked them to let me borrow this. Actually, I asked them to borrow a medium format, and they let me choose. You want the S or R? And I looked at the stuff. I want an R. I want to look good, so I took the R. It works. I shot a commercial with it.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, so this is a close-up of the R because it's very stylish, right? It doesn't look like a traditional DSLR. And like you said, the unique thing is this rangefinder, viewfinder is on the side so that you can hold it up.
So what I like about it is you really need to know your basics with this camera because it does not have in-camera stabilization. The lens don't have nothing, right? You need to know your setting. You need to know what safe shutters to use, what safe average to use, that type of stuff. And also, you just basically adjust all that on the outside too, like, so it's pretty cool. Or the dial, all that. It's just go to basic. All you care about is the app stop shutter ISO, right?
Yep.
Right about just keep it auto because we're shooting raw here. It doesn't matter. So it's fun.
It is fun to use something where you actually have to know the basic. I kind of think this is synonymous to like driving a manual transmission car in driving an automatic car. You really need
That's
to
my
be able
debate. I
Yeah.
never switched. I just recently started driving automatic too.
You drive automatic? What?
I drive stick all the way until I had my baby. And you know what? I got forced to sell my car, my sport car. So it's like,
Was that the RX-7?
yeah, I kind of missed it.
Dude, RX-7 is legendary. I wish you still have it so we can do a photo
Oh,
shoot.
actually, I have the RS8.
RX-8, okay. The more modern one.
My feedback was I have two doors in the back, but yeah, it's kind of hard to put the baby seat in there.
Yeah, that's a good car. But anyway, so this is the GFX50R. This is the one that you're interested in, and your argument is really strong, given that it's $3,500 right now.
You know, if you follow my journey, I mean, that with this being with the Sony ambassador, my favorite camera in Sony, you would never guess which one.
I don't know.
It would be the Sony RX1.
RX1, okay. I don't know that one. Let's
I only like camera that has specific something that other cameras don't have.
What is the RX1? Oh wow, it's expensive. It's a full frame camera. What does
It's the
it look
first
like?
full frame point and shoot type small camera.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Full frame palm size.
No, this is not the cool thing.
What is cool
Basically,
about it?
back then I had to go back to Hong Kong Sony and train them about marketing because they don't know how to sell this camera. One thing this camera up till today, still no camera manufacturers, no digital middle camera had this function. It's a built-in 35 2.0 lens and it's a leaf shutter.
A leaf shutter.
The shutter is on the lens, it's not on the body.
Oh.
So rather than
makes
go
that so
up
special?
and down shutter,
Yeah.
it's a lip shutter. So it open wide like a circle.
Oh, that's
You
actually
know what's
really
the difference
interesting.
between that? You know what's the difference between that kind of shutter, lip shutter, and your typical go up and down shutter? I forgot what the term of it. So with your typical ups and down shutters, you have a sync speed on your flash, right?
Yes.
Because when you close, it's basically one directional, goes up and down.
Yes.
So if you can't sync, meaning that part of the sensor can't get
Yes.
the light.
Yes.
But with the leaf shutter, because it's open in and out in a circle,
yeah.
So for this camera, I don't need any kind of high-speed sync. I can just go up to 1/4000 manual flash, easy.
Oh, that's pretty
Meaning
cool.
that I could basically buy the cheapest flash out there and still go out there and do the high-speed sync thing rather than pay a couple $100 for a flash.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, that is fantastic. But this is not part of the discussion. No,
I still had it with me back there.
Right. So going back to, okay, what is your argument for the GFX50R? Number one, you got the price.
I'm a Canon that has a rangefinder style, then I might think about it.
Okay, so the style, the price. Image quality is good
The
too?
medium format sensor and the rangefinder. That's the two things. And the price.
And the price and image
I think
quality.
3500 is cheaper than a Mark IV, right?
Yes, it's the same price as the 5D Mark IV.
And it's medium format. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But medium format, you have limitations too. What is the shutter speed? Right.
Your limitation is allow you to be creative.
Yes, yes, of course. You can always.
I'm not buying this working.
Right. So then that,
I mean, if I want to work with portrait and commercial use, it's not going to be for events or wedding. No, don't even think about that. This is not the camera for that.
Okay.
This is for taking portraits or go out to take landscape.
Yes.
Right? Because for landscape, this is like a medium format. Imagine the other medium format is heavy.
Yes.
If I were to climb up the mountain and take a landscape,
yes,
this is the perfect camera. It's light.
Yeah. Yeah, let's actually look at some of the specs here. So this is Fuji's website, right? So you got 51.4 megapixels. So you do have a lot of megapixel. So if you need to crop in a whole bunch, you can, right?
The only downside is G mount. So none of my X mount lens will work with that. I have a brand new lenses, but I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't need. So for this camera body, if you look at the design, it's slim, it's smaller. It's not like the 50RS, which is bulky.
Yes.
So I will personally only buy prime lenses for this. So it's smaller and lighter and looks more clean.
Yeah.
I will never use zoom lens of this.
Yes, I will agree too. And because you don't want to ruin that style you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I would definitely get one of those wood grips and leathers, really awesome leather strap and stuff. So just, hey, I'm a hipster. Yeah.
so let's see what the Fuji says here. So just like medium format cameras in the past, the GFX50R has been developed in pursuit of a compact and lightweight system while delivering the ultimate picture quality for everyday snapshot and street photography. This new model expands the potential of the GFX system and makes medium format output even more accessible.
You know about the street photography kind of rule, right? Someone told me that once. I'm not
What's
sure how
that?
legit it is.
Yeah.
They tend to get camera that has really low frame rate to do.
Why? Why would they want that?
Because we're not trying to capture an event. We try to. It's when they do street photography, it's more like a therapy. Okay, it's about training patience. So if you have a 40 frames per second type of camera and you just go, you can capture anything. What's the fun of that? So they basically want is really based on the photographer, not a camera, to get that decisive moment using a low frame camera. So that's why they kind of point this out as like a street photography camera as well.
That makes sense, and that's one of the weakness I should point out too, because I think the frames per second speed on this is kind of low, right?
It's only 3 frames per second.
Right, so that's the
limitation. But if I'm doing portrait, that's fine. They don't move.
Right.
If I'm doing landscape, it's fine. The mountain and the tree don't move.
Yep, fair enough.
And most of the time for landscape, it'll be long exposure. You want when you do those waterfall, so it'll be like a whole second with all this field in the front. So So stop thinking just about weddings and fast play shooting. There's a lot of different genre of photography out there too.
Sure. But your limitation spec doesn't add something that a fast frames per second doesn't have, right? So I can buy an EOS R5 and I can still shoot at 1 frame per second if I wanted to, or I can put it on a shutter speed of 1/5 seconds and just shoot something really slow, or 1/10 seconds, or 1/a minute if I want like super ND filter, smooth motion, or whatever, right? So,
well, it's kind of like thinking, okay, you could drive yourself a BMW from from San Leandro, from Hayward to Fremont to San Francisco, or you could try a vintage Cadillac, right?
Oh,
when you're driving that car, it's different.
Or you can drive a classic NSX first gen. Right.
It's the same, but it's the way that you're driving, also the way you're holding the camera. That too.
I can see the nostalgic value in that, the excitement, the pureness of that. For sure.
Well, you actually, one more thing is you have to actually play with this camera, hold it. You will feel the build quality of this camera as well.
Ooh, yeah. That I don't have experience with, so I haven't felt it. I hold this in my hand. So again, summing it up, so you get the price, $3,500. You get the style, and it's medium format, so you have really high quality images at super huge megapixels. The disadvantage is you got new lenses you have to buy because you can't use
which means you have to make more money.
You gotta make more money.
If money can solve a problem, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Some wise man said that once.
Yep. I agree. Also, the frame rate is slow, so although it's fine for portraits, landscape, and commercial photography, you can't shoot an event with it. So that's one of the cons.
I won't shoot an event with it.
Fair enough. Just putting it out there, so these are the pros and cons, right? How is video quality in this? Does this shoot video? What is the specification for video?
I just don't know. I'm not a video guy, so I never thought about that.
Does it have dual memory card slots?
It does.
Okay. It does video too, it looks like here.
It does.
Yeah. Here's the mechanical shutter. These are shutter speeds. Self-timer. I'm looking for the video specs. Probably missed it already. But, here it is. There it is. So it does 1080p at 30 frames per second, and it does 720p at 30 frames per second. 35 megabits per second quality rate, and you can record up to 30 minutes. It's decent. It does it does fine. It's nothing special. So those are all the pros.
That's nothing special about the spec. There's nothing special about it.
Other than it's full frame. I mean, medium format.
It's the sensor itself that most people are looking for because it's the image quality that we're going for.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool to record video in medium format. I actually haven't seen any of that. It probably has a very unique and distinctive look, right?
I wouldn't know. If I start learning video, I'll let you know.
Right. Because when you do video at 1080p, you kind of lose the benefit of the medium format. In terms of one of the benefits is like the super high megapixels, because if you're recording at 1080p, you don't get the super high megapixel. You still get the larger sensor, which means you have better lens compression. But that's about it. So I don't think this would be a great comparison if you're talking about video. So this one is fantastic for the nostalgic reasons, for the simplicity of style, for something tangible, high quality, and something that sets you apart because it's medium format. It's different, right? It adds a new tool in your tool belt. So does that about sums up your argument? Did I miss anything?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. And with the price right now...
But by the way, it's not an argument. It's my personal preference.
Sure. And in this video right now... So in this video right now, that is your stance. And in this video right now, my stance is R5. So at least we have some perspective to compare about. Because if we both want both of these cameras, that's easy. But the very distinct fact is you don't want the R5. You want the GFX50. And in my boat, I actually prefer the R5 than the GFX50. So that's why we're standing and defending our stance. All right? So you got a pretty good stance, especially since it's $1,000 off right now in the link right below. Like, if you want this camera, now is the time to get it. There's only 11 in stock left. So Amazon, links down below. Get this camera if you want medium format for all the nostalgic region, the style, the high quality image. It's medium format. It's a good one too. It's probably the best medium format at the most reasonable price you can buy, period, right now. It's really good. Now, the EOS R5. This is revolutionary because this is the first Canon camera that actually has everything Canon has in terms of technology.
Wait, let me reframe that. It's everything that other camera manufacturers have and Canon don't have, and finally they have it. There.
Sort of. You would be right if you're just talking about the flip-out screen, the in-body image stabilization, the dual memory card. Yes, you're right. But this camera does 8K video in RAW.
Do you need 8K video now? Wait, hold on. Does YouTube even support 8K video right now? Why they don't?
No. Okay, so true fact, and I will be completely honest. I think 8K is an overkill. I don't think anyone is going to use 8K. Well, I shouldn't say anyone, but I would say 99.9% of the people buying the R5 will never use 8K. Number one is because it's going to take a huge amount of memory card. I don't know. It's going to be something ridiculous. Like, it'll probably take just a ridiculous number of storage space. Not even reasonable. I would say in the order of like, I don't even want to ballpark it. It's just amazingly, like, it's just going to be so big. So big to record 8K raw video. Like, it doesn't even make sense. So I don't think anyone would want to record 8K raw because it just takes too much disk space or memory card space, right? That's number one. Number two, once you have the video in RAW, editing it is gonna be crazy because my computer is like, what, 6 years old now, but at least...
Well, that was my computer, I thought.
Well, I have a laptop that's more modern, but when I edit on my iMac, it's like 6 years old. It's like a second gen i7, but it still does fine when I do 1080p video edits. That's how I do all the YouTube videos. It struggles on 4K. Like, it really struggles on 4K. And if it struggles on 4K, you could just forget 8K. Like, why even try? Like, I know that I'm never gonna use 8K because it's gonna take too much disk space. Storage is gonna be a hassle, and then editing it is gonna be a nightmare. And you know our videos on Pixel Stabbers, we make long videos. Our videos are on average an hour long. Like at 1080p, our video result is like 16 gigabytes. At 4K, we're talking about 4 times that. At 8K, it's like 8 times 16 gigabytes. It's just nuts. So I'm not even gonna do it.
Yeah.
So you have a good point.
I get some comment from not the YouTube, but from a thing I post somewhere else. They said that, well, why would you need 8K? I mean, 4K is not even the standard yet. God knows how long before 4K becomes standard. Then so when is 8K gonna be usable?
Right. I don't think it's gonna be usable for a long time, and especially, 4K just became popular in 2020 because I think that TV sales numbers, 1080p used to be always more than 4K sales. It's just because people find 1080p more cost effective and they use it more. But only this year, 2020, people start saying, okay, 4K makes sense. I can see a difference. I want to get 4K TV. And it took that long.
I don't think it's just about 4K TV. It's about the internet connection too. I mean, nowadays who watch the TV, they all watch the stuff on YouTube.
And Netflix.
And stuff.
Yeah.
So, like we live in California, in a big city, that we have good internet.
Right.
A lot of people don't have the luxury to have good internet, right? So 4K is a luxury to them. I mean, 1080p is part of the max to them in a way.
Yeah.
So until the whole America has fast internet, I don't think 4K can go up because it just can't.
Right. Like and I guess Blu-ray is 4K technically, but people don't really watch disc media anymore. They all stream stuff, right? And if you're streaming 4K, you have to have some pretty good internet speed, which the majority of the US doesn't have. So even at 4K right now, although it's finally catching on in 2020, I don't see 8K catching on for a very long time, especially with the given health situation right now. And we had a tech boom going from like the last 10 years. That's why we came so fast from like what before 720p, whatever it is, standard definition, then 720p, and then 1080p, and then 4K went pretty fast. But I think 4K is really, once we actually get there and everyone's standardized to it, it's really here to stay because 4K is dang sharp. I don't think you need anything sharper. Now, there is, right, and so the very small justification for if you want to record in 8K is for the extreme 1% of people or 0.01% people that want to have something. For example, they're doing a commercial, they want a small snippet, they want to do some shot where they start out here, but they want to do a dolly and a pan and a rotation zoom to something very small, and then the final output is like 1080p. Then they have a lot to crop and a lot of data to not lose the quality when they zoom in really big, right?
Yeah, so that's the same idea why I want to get a medium format, because I can crop.
Yes. Yeah, but your medium format to help you and your stands is actually more practical than recording in 8K, unfortunately.
Round 1, I win.
No, I'm not giving you the round. I'm just giving you that benefit. Okay, so 8K is actually one of the reasons people get excited about the R5. And I honestly think that's not the reason to get excited about R5. And
it's more like a gimmick that Canon make out to kind of stand out the camera. That's what I feel like.
For sure. Oh, we have a comment. Let's just bring this comment up here and mention it real quick here.
I can see it.
It's right
just
there.
flashed.
It just popped up. Right. Sebastian says, I moved from Canon to Fuji some years ago because, in my opinion, Fuji understands photography's need better than Canon.
You are my friend, Sebastian. You are exactly correct. That's how I feel too. Fuji make camera for photographers, and while Canon make camera to sell. There.
Yeah.
Ha!
I don't disagree.
I think a friend out there helping me out. Thank you, Sebastian.
Canon guys, Canon fanboys, where are you, man? Come help me out. I got the 5D Mark II. I started out with that. I went to like the 5D Mark III, 5D Mark IV, 1DS Mark III, 1DX, 1DX Mark II, looking at the 1DX Mark III, getting the EOS R, have the EOS M50, got 2 of those. Man, I am a Canon fanboy. I love Canon. Where are the Canon fanboys? Show me some support. So for professional work,
when I first get into looking at the camera, yes, I play with the Canon Wearable.
Yes.
I think like XEI or something, like really
XEI.
old one, a little bit.
The first one, the first
which is my friend's camera. I never touch it. But then I was looking into research and seeing how Canon make when the Canon Mark something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like why the heck do you have so many versions, right? And then I moved on to see Nikon's back then, and Nikon, I had the D300, right? They don't have D300 Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, Mark 4. I mean, the next one is the D300S. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I feel the company is more legit. They make a camera, they make an improvement. Yeah. They're not making small adjustment to sell you a new model. So at that point, I never liked Canon. I don't care how good the features and stuff is. It's the model they take in the business.
Okay, fine. Fine, it is. It's like Street Fighter, right? You have Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Turbo, Street Fighter Champion Edition. Then you got the Ultra. Then you got the Ultra Arcade Edition. Yep. So yeah, it's a marketing gimmick. But in defense to Canon, they make cameras that are really robust for the industry, and for me, using it professionally for 10 years, I really like the small upgrades over time.
They do, I give you that. So they're the big dog of the industry, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But if a big dog, in my book, rather you're a company or a person, if you're strong, you help others out. You don't bully people. Canon bully people.
No comment on that, no comment. So thank you, Sebastian, for your comment there. I like your support. So now oh no, I lost our Pixel Stabber. Every time I close out the comment, I close out our Pixel Stabber logo too. Let me bring that back real quick here. Let me put on the overlay. So we gotta show some love to Pixel Stabbers, because that's who we are. And we're on YouTube too at Pixel Stabbers. Well, youtube.com/Pixel Stabbers. Also on Instagram, check us out. There's a small plug for Pixel Stabbers. We're building out the website right now. Lots of stuff coming. But anyway, going back to my corner and why I'm defending the EOS R5. So it's probably going to cost $4,000. It's going to have 8K video, which I think is not the reason to get excited about. I think what makes me I think a lot of people are going to be really happy with the R5. And why I'm going to be happy with the R5 is because it's everything that you want in a camera that Canon has kind of crippled out of all their camera. So if you're a true Canon fanboy, you're going to be really, really, extremely happy if Canon keeps their promise and delivers everything that they plan to deliver in the R5. 8K is icing on the cake. What the basic simplicity stuff that really matters is that it's going to use the new RF series glass, which are really good lens, tack sharp, really good focus.
Did it fix the problem on the focusing?
Yes.
You know how they have a bad word about Canon with the focus?
Yes.
So with the new lens, did they refine that?
With the what?
With all this new mirrorless lens.
Yes.
Did they fix the problem, right?
Well,
supposedly, I mean, it's mirrorless. It should be focusing faster than, the old.
So mirrorless allows lenses to focus better because the lens element is actually closer to the sensor because there's no need for room for the mirror to flap, right? So it does definitely help. It makes images sharper, it focuses better. And also Canon actually has been leading the way with the dual pixel autofocus. I've used it for a lot of vlogging. I do it for a lot of YouTube videos. I think the dual pixel autofocus is really good. But Canon always cripples their camera, right? Like they will disable dual pixel autofocus when you go to 4K recording. Like, why, Canon? Like, why go back to like the old...
What is even that dual pixel recording? I don't even know what that is.
So dual pixel autofocus it's a technology that makes autofocusing really good, right? It's a huge step up from phase detection autofocus. But a lot of Canon cameras, if you go to like 4K video, automatically they go back to the phase detection autofocus. So autofocus hunts around and it's just terrible. It's not even usable. But you go to 1080p.
What's the one that you're using right now for your webcam?
Yeah, so I'm using the Canon M50.
Doesn't that have the problem with the phase detection? At some point, I remember like way back, I saw like a comparison using that compared to either Sony's or some other cameras, and they found that the phase detection on the M50 is lacking.
I think it doesn't have the eye detection, but it's pretty good. I don't quote me on that. I just know that the phase, it's on par or better than a lot of the competition in terms of autofocus. I would say dual pixel autofocus on Canon is really good. But
better than my X-T3.
It's probably better than your X-T3.
I really doubt it.
I don't know for sure, but let's just put it this way. Dual pixel autofocus is all you need for good video. You don't need anything better than that. Now, if you add eye autofocus on top of dual pixel autofocus, then it's really great for video and photography as well. But for me, I don't really care too much about that. I'm really happy with dual pixel autofocus. Let's just say, for a Canon fanboy, dual pixel autofocus is nirvana for us. However, Canon does a bad job of allowing that dual pixel autofocus to apply to all the video modes within the same camera. So that's what I'm saying. Like with the EOS R, which is a fantastic camera, or rather, let's say, I don't remember which camera it is. I think it's the RP, or I can't remember exactly. But let me just say in general, in some other cameras, the dual pixel autofocus only works in 1080p. It doesn't work in the 4K. So now the EOS R5 is a camera where at the 4K, it will do dual pixel autofocus. And it doesn't crop either. And it doesn't crop at 8K either. Because cropping is another thing that a lot of Canon cameras do. It's like, okay, well, yeah, we'll do 4K recording, but it'll be cropped in. Like, what? So now you have 4K on a full frame sensor, but it's cropped in. So it's not that great anymore. With the R5, supposedly, you're going to have dual pixel autofocus on all the recording mode, at least up to 4K. I don't know if it does it for 8K. But you also don't have any cropping. So when they say full frame 4K, it's really full frame 4K at 60 frames per second, uncropped, with dual pixel autofocus. I think that might sound simple because a lot of other manufacturers have it, but as a Canon fanboy, we have been deprived of that. And
yeah, it still does nothing for me. I mean, I'm a weird one. Like at one time, you heard about that the lens baby?
Yeah.
It's on manual focus, right?
Yeah.
So at one point, I actually shot half the wedding with a lens baby.
Wow.
And at one time, I actually have an old vintage lens with also autofocus. I actually mounted a Nikon 51.4 old 51.4 onto my Sony and do manual focus and shot that too. So again, autofocus means nothing to me.
Well, autofocus means a lot. Autofocus means a lot for me.
Because I give my client blurry pictures just because that moment looks good too. So I call it art.
Fair enough, fair enough. And for someone that's me with the engineering background, I think pictures need to be sharp to be representative and be competitive in today's industry. Like everyone has such high resolution monitors and computer screens now that if you take a picture that's slightly out of focus, you're kind of hurting your brand. But again,
not really. That's why I start teaching conference, right. Teach people like you, so that hey,
okay,
pick this picture. You give me an hour to just talk about that. I could convince you, but not in this video. Moving on.
Sure. Right. Okay. So we got good autofocus. We got good video quality, even in 4K, full frame, uncropped, with dual pixel autofocus. Now you also have access to the RF lenses, which are great at focus quality and they're sharp, and the Colorscience of Canon is there. You finally have dual memory card in a camera system that uses RF lenses. Prior to this camera,
the ones don't have it?
Well, prior to this camera, any mirrorless camera that uses the RF glass does not have dual memory card.
I feel like before this, all the mirror cameras that Canon make, they never put in the thought into it. They never thought the mirrors will be something.
Yeah.
Until this one, they finally get serious and make this EOS R5. I mean, all the other ones were just like, oh yeah, they have mirrors, so let's make one. But they never intend to actually make a good one to begin with.
I would say the M50 series or the EOS M were there. Okay, we made mirrorless in APS-C, but they never did mirrorless full frame. So when they brought the EOS R and the EOS RP, those were the mirrorless full frame that had potential. And then not only that, but they actually opened up a whole new line of glass, the RF series lens. And those are really good lenses, and I love the quality of those lenses. But I could never use them to shoot professional wedding pictures because as a professional photographer, I simply have to have dual memory card in all of my cameras for me to feel comfortable shooting a wedding. So the EOS R, EOS RP are the only two RF cameras prior to the EOS R5 that can use the RF lenses, but they only have single memory card. So therefore, it was off limits for me to use professionally. Therefore, the EOS R5 is the first Canon camera using the RF lens series that I can shoot a wedding with because it has dual memory card.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know why
I don't get it.
You don't get
You know,
that.
before Fuji,
Yeah.
right now Fuji I'm on like X-T3 is dual.
Yeah.
It's dual.
Yes.
So I'm fine. But before that, let's say I'm still the Sony stage.
Yeah.
I have my Sony RX1
Yeah.
single card.
Yeah.
I have my, I think it's an A6000 back
Yep.
then, single card, and then I have a A72. That one's dual card, I believe, and that's
Yep.
pretty much it. Still
Yeah.
shot with that. Fine.
Right. And I know your style, and I know that you shoot with multiple memory cards throughout the day.
Yeah.
Correct?
16 gig.
Yes. So my wife and I shoot, and we don't want to have to swap out memory cards. So we shoot with our memory cards in the camera from the beginning of the wedding to the end of the wedding. Whether it's an 8-hour wedding to a 14-hour, 15-hour wedding, we don't switch out memory cards. So all of our cameras have 256 gigabyte memory cards, 2 of them. So that's why when we shoot when we take one picture, it writes the same thing to 2 memory cards. So in case there's a memory card failure, we always have the backup. And trust me, it has failed on us before, especially when we were first starting out. We got a heart attack pretty much, not literally, but figuratively, because we had a full long Indian wedding. I think it was 12 hours. We came back and we plugged our memory card in. That one memory card that had the whole day's worth of wedding on that one camera. Computer says, unable to access memory card. Would you like to reinitialize and format the card? I'm like, seriously. It's like 1 a.m. after the wedding. I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. It took me like 4 hours to do a deep scan, to extract the pictures. I had to rename the files. I also have pictures from other weddings, and they're all mixed together. I was happy to get the picture back, but never again will I want to be in that situation where I am depending on that one memory card. And that's the difference.
Well, that's
between
why
you and
I'm not debating on the one memory card.
Right.
If I lose one, I only probably lose 16 gig out of the other 100
Sure.
gig.
And
it's
then,
not much.
So why I use one memory card is because I don't want to replace memory cards during the day, and I don't want to have a memory card that I can misplace or I can accidentally format and reuse again. So there's dangers to that, right? I just want to focus on shooting a wedding. I don't want to focus on managing memory card. Memory card starts empty in the beginning of the day and it's full at the end of the day, and it stays in the camera until I go home and then put it into my computer. That's why I need dual memory card slot. That's the way I work. That's the way I feel comfortable. And that's why the EOS R5 is the first mirrorless full frame camera from Canon using the RF glass that actually has dual memory card that I can use for a wedding. So something as simple as that, for me, for a Canon fanboy, I think it's huge. That's my justification.
Good for you. Good for you. Not my cup of tea still.
Sure. And this is exactly why this camera is not for you, because you don't care about these things. And that's why you rather have the GFX50. Makes total sense. But again, that's my argument for this camera. It's not the 8K video, though that's nice. But again, it's the full frame
Let's just say
video.
Canon never make a good looking camera that I can actually feel like it's a camera to me before.
Well, it's a standard camera that I'm very comfortable with.
The best camera is the 1DX. I feel like it's just like a brick. Yeah, it's I like,
love it.
Feel like a rock. But that's it.
It's my heart and soul, man. I love the 1DX Mark II, and the 1DX Mark III is even better. But okay, so the last thing about the EOS R5 that I really like, again, as a deprived Canon shooter, is I use the 1DX and I use the 5D. We never had the flipped out screen that I can use in a professional environments.
Very good for video.
It's great for video, it's great for pictures. I don't have to like have my stomach to the ground if I want a really low shot and shoot up and still frame
I
that
never
shot.
done that. I would have a first screen. I don't know where you're from, my friend.
I'm
I would have
from
a first
Canon.
screen.
So with Canon 5D series, I don't have to flip out screen. With the 1DX series, I don't have to flip out screen. So I've been deprived, all right? I've been deprived. So this camera has dual memory cards. It has a flip out screen. I can shoot high shots, be able to flip the screen out so I can see it. Low shots, I can see it. I can vlog with it. It also finally has in-body image stabilization. Yes, all the other brands had it. Canon never had it, okay? I don't care what you're comparing it to, but as a Canon fanboy, finally, in-body image stabilization.
So
finally,
how many
4K
of those mirrorless
video.
lenses did you own right now?
Mirrorless cameras?
Lens.
lens, I have all the camera lenses. I have everything from the 16-35, the 24-70, the 70-200, the fisheye lens, the 24 prime, the 35 prime,
so
the 50
this can
prime.
go back. Those are the same mount.
Yes, this one has the adapter where I can put EF lens on it too.
Okay.
Yeah, autofocus is really good with it. Although optimally, to take advantage of this system, you really want the RF lens, just because the RF lens is one of the reasons why I want to use the mirrorless full frame EOS R lines. It's because those RF lenses, they're really nice, they're really high quality, and this is the only camera that I can actually use it with. So in the beginning, if I buy the R5, I can at least have the adapter so I can use all my current camera lenses. All the old EF lenses will work on this camera. So
for someone like me who never used Canon, never owned a Canon lens, never owned a Canon camera, so
you'll never understand. And you also don't shoot videos too. So you don't also understand how nice the video quality comes out of the Canon cameras, because the Colorscience gets the skin.
Well, now
really
that I
nice.
know you, I don't even have to learn, because hey,
I do all the
I would
videos
just say,
for
hey
you.
Derek, you do some video for me. Yeah.
Well, so that's exactly why
That's what
I
friends
want
are
this
for.
camera. Yeah.
That's what friends are for, right?
So that's why you buy the GFX, and then when I need a professional portrait, you can take a beautiful portrait of me.
No problem.
And then if you want great videos, I can use the Canon EOS R5 with RF glasses, dual memory card, 1080p, 4K, dual pixel autofocus to capture beautiful video for you when you need it. So that's why.
Let's check on that.
For sure, man. For sure. Definitely. For sure. So that's the benefit of the R5, right? It has a lot of the things that a lot of Canon fans have been deprived.
So
it's all in one package.
So I saw a lot of videographers doing when they do shot with Canons.
Yes.
Do you think those videographers will love this R5?
Yes. Yes. Any Canon camera user that shoot video will absolutely love this camera. It's a little bit
because
pricier.
Of the flip screen?
Because of the flip screen, because the ability. So now I don't know if it can write dual memory card. It can write video to both cards. I have to check that at once, because sometimes it does have dual memory card, which is great for pictures, but I'm not sure if it can do dual memory card for video. If you record in 4K, full frame, and you want the dual pixel autofocus, they'll absolutely love this. But if they're already shooting full frame, and if they're doing manual focus, then it might not be that big of a deal for them. So I would say yes, it's kind of a nice thing to upgrade to if you're professionally shooting video. But I would say for professional use, this would make more sense for a photographer that wants to use the RF glasses and it wants to have a dual memory card. Yeah. So, but it does fill the niche. Like pretty much any camera, any Canon shooter that's not using a Cinema R300 camera will be happy to upgrade to this. Whether they're upgrading from the 1DX Mark II, you're going to lose a little bit in terms of robustness and durability of the weather resistance, but you get a lot of nice benefit. And definitely people that upgrade from the 5D series will be happy. So any Canon shooter will be very happy to upgrade to this. In fact, this will be considered the ultimate Canon camera until like the R1 comes out, which is like the 1 series equivalent for the mirrorless line. But
I feel sorry because I can sense your excitement about the R5, but I keep looking at the picture right now. It can't do nothing for me. Sorry.
We need to end this video right now because I'm running out of breath. I'm so excited, and you don't care. But it is something that Canon's fan will truly rejoice and love. Maybe it's because we've been deprived so long, but we've always been faithful to Canon. And a lot of people are coming back to Canon because they miss the Colorscience, because they miss the simple ergonomics that hasn't changed in the last 10 years.
Okay, I need to debunk me on the so-called Colorscience.
Yeah. So what do you want to know about the Colorscience?
What is Canon's Colorscience based on? Do they have something to base on, like Fuji's based on?
So Fuji's Colorscience is based on film look, right?
Mm-hmm.
Canon.
What's Canon's?
Canon when you take pictures or video with Canon, the skin tones are very well reproduced and they're very natural look. They don't look overly red and they don't look overly cold, right? They're always a very fine quality to it that a lot of people just find pleasing.
Besides the photographer, I'm also a retoucher. So I help my friends who shoot Canons and we touch the photos.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many different camera files you have dealt with before. So I deal with Sony's, Nikon's, Canon, Hasselblad, Panasonics, Fuji's, right? This is how I analyze it. From Nikon tend to be more cooler, more to the cold side. Yeah. But the green sucks because I am a Nikon shooter. The green sucks. But Sony is kind of in more like a digital color type of Colorscience. It's vibrant. The red is nothing will go over. Okay, it's good, but the skin tone tend to turn a little bit of redness, just a tad, not too much.
Okay.
Canon to me, it's always too warm. They have this yellow cast all over. That's why the skin tone is like looks natural because it apply a lot of yellow cast onto the skin tone. That's why a lot of people say the skin tone is amazing. No, it's not. If you look at Fuji's skin tone, because back then, if you understand film, the ultimate what they based on, even in film. Okay, so if Colorscience is based on film, but film is based on skin tones. So when they have that kind of base, you know for a fact that Fuji's skin color is the best. Putting aside all the special effect on the film, if you just go for the normal ones, the skin tone on Fuji is one of the best. If you ask anyone who shot, you know how Fuji made cameras before, right? Like even before all this like XT or that way back, a lot of portrait photographers would choose over Fuji, over Nikon, over Canon. You know, all back, like I'll say 10, 15 years ago.
Because they specialize in film back in the days.
And if they do portrait, majority they would choose Fuji just because of the Colorscience. That's why I'm asking, what is Canon's Colorscience based on?
It's just based on a very pleasing look. And
who's pleasing who? That's the thing.
Okay, so that Colorscience doesn't have like a scientific reason.
On a Canon fan, right? That's pretty much it.
It's a Canon fan thing, and when you compare a lot of footage from other cameras, like straight out of camera, when you start to tweak things in camera or you shoot log and you do some color grading, that's different. But out of camera, the Canon colors are just simply more pleasing. Even though you might think they're a little bit overly warm, out of camera without any work, the end result is it's a better color. So that's why people like Canon, because it's just out of camera without effort, it's pretty good already.
So one thing I do when I do retouching is that I hate warmness in the picture, because if you are taking a picture of a person, the skin is already warm, and your background, your surrounding is warm, meaning that you're not standing out. Yeah. So I always remove the warmness. Well, my friends, like when Canon shooters give me the picture to retouch, and they said, "Man, it come out way better than it come out straight in the camera." Why? Oh, I just remove your warmness. That's why your subject just stand out.
You'll have to do a tutorial and show me the result of that. I would love to see that.
Oh yeah, I remember that masterclass we did.
Yep.
I did that one. I remember I basically cool down the background to stand out subject. That's exactly what that is.
So how do you do that? It's like just like masking the subject out and then just cooling down the background?
Basically, you could just use either. Well, I use Photoshop, so I go to select the color, go into either black or yellow, and tune down the yellow, and also in black add a little bit of blue in there. That's it.
That's right. I do remember seeing those pictures now. They do pop out really well. Oh, hey, we got some comments on Amazon here. So where is chat? PogChamps. Oh, I like cameras. Well, so here's a question. How do you feel about the difference between the Canon cameras and the PlayStation Live Cam? Ooh, that's actually interesting. I don't have any experience with the PlayStation Live Cam. Do you?
Me neither.
Yeah. No. So, for one thing, I know with Canon cameras, you have much more flexibility. It is a professional camera in terms of a really high quality output. I can't say any comment about the PS Live Cam, so I honestly I cannot give you a good comparison.
It's like a fixed lens thing for the PS Live Cam. If so, then that could be the depth of field differences too.
Oh yeah. And then of course, once you go to a Canon camera, you have all the arsenal of Canon lenses to go through. But yeah, comparing those two is actually a very difficult comparison. Unfortunately, that's something that I can't answer for you. But like Jeremy says here, if it's a fixed lens on the PS Live Cam, then you're comparing something that's fixed to something that has unlimited flexibility. So hopefully that answers your question.
I'm just assuming that the PS Live Cam is like a webcam that we use.
Actually, we can always look it up. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Here, let's open. Yeah, so let's look at the PS Live Cam for Spookies here, who had this question. So let's see Live Cam, not Cam.
Live Cam.
So here's the Live Cam. So yeah, basically it's a webcam. So it's equivalent to webcam. So yeah, just much lower quality. So when you switch to like a Canon camera with a nice lens, you definitely have more separation. You know how you have a blurry background? That's one thing that you would definitely get with the Canon camera. Also, it has a better sensor, so in low light capabilities, you have less graininess if you're shooting in a room that's a little bit low light, especially if you're doing like gameplay and stuff. You're usually in a dimly lit room. The better sensor on a Canon camera will have better image quality for you. So better background separation, blurs out the background, less grain, so a better image quality. And also you can put on any lens you want, whether it's a zoomed in lens or a wide lens, you have a lot of flexibility in that too. So, yep. Oh, and Spooky had a follow-up question. He said, when could I justify the jump from a $500 camera to a $4,000 one? That's a very good question. Jeremy, you want to stab at that? A $5,000 or $500 camera versus a $4,000 one. What's the justification for something like that?
When you're actually doing professional work and you know you can pay for it, I think that's a good answer right there. I mean, if you're just doing for fun, I mean, to be honest, any camera, even your phone can do it. But once if you really interested in photography, it's kind of just any kind of hobby. You will dig into it, right? I mean, you play a game, you buy more game. You don't only pay one game. You keep buying games, right? Like PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're a PlayStation friend, you keep buying until like PlayStation 5 come out. You will still buy it. Same thing, right? So as a camera, if you love photography and you know how the technologies keep evolving, and the new generation might have something that the old ones don't, that's where you upgrade. But if you're talking about how you can jump from like 500 to 4,000, you don't. I would not suggest you do that either, because for once, that two type of camera is very different. I would rather you graduate it slowly, upgrade to like 500, 600, 800, 1,000. Then at some point you might say, I don't need to upgrade anymore. Then you just stop. Don't play that game of buying all this gear. Don't get something like this guy that has gas. Don't do that, okay? Yeah. So if you ask this guy, say, oh, just buy it. You have fun with it. No, don't do that. Unless you actually learn how to use it or you need it for work, or if the type of photo require you to do so, then get it. Otherwise, if the current camera is doing good for you, stick with it.
So that's a very good answer, Jeremy. And I want to add the justification, in my opinion, too, which is similar, but I have a slight difference in terms of how to explain it. So basically, a camera is a tool you use to take a picture. So you can use a cell phone, any camera, it'll work just fine. Now, a $500 camera might be limited, but if you spend like $1,000 on a camera that has all the features, good quality sensor, and has adaptive lens ability, you can get 98% of the quality of a $4,000 camera. When you spend $4,000 versus something that's $1,000, you're pretty much paying the very small premium. At that point, the justification is at the extreme low return, right? You have a very low return at the higher price margin, because it's like buying a Gucci bag versus buying a really good bag, right? The price between a really good bag and a Gucci bag is huge, but you're not getting much benefit from it. And that's the same thing when you're comparing a $1,000 camera to like a $4,000 camera. You might get a little bit improved weather sealing. You might get a little bit improved low light capability. You might get a little bit faster autofocus, a little bit faster frame rates, but those are the little things that matter when you're making a lot of money with your photos, or you're doing like an Olympic shooting, or you're doing like out in the desert where you have extreme temperature conditions. When the conditions really require it, that's when it's justified. But for basic taking pictures, you won't notice the difference, and you can achieve 99 or 98% of those qualities in a more expensive camera with something that's $1,000. Now you mentioned $500, which is even less than $1,000. You can definitely see a big difference between a $500 to a $1,000 camera, because with $1,000 cameras, you start to get into like the good professional features, where the margin of return between $500 to $1,000 is definitely worth it. It's just that when you go from $1,000 to $4,000, the benefits are not worth it. So hopefully that explains it. It's a long-winded answer, but if you have more questions, let us know. But I hope that gives you a good understanding. So hopefully we'll leave it as that. Anything you want to add to that, Jeremy?
No, I think you got pretty good. I just feel like that. Wait, is that from Amazon Live or YouTube Live?
Yeah, just Amazon.
Okay, I feel like we're doing it this way because Amazon wants people to buy stuff. We just tell people not to buy stuff.
No, I'm saying you should buy stuff. I'm saying if you want to buy cameras.
But then again, I am keeping it real. Okay, I'm not like sell out or anything, but legitimately, I mean, the gear you use, unless you really have like David said, if there's like decisive moment that you require gear to help you capture or able to create, then and that pay you money back, that's fine. But if you're just shooting normal picture like landscape, portraits, and something that don't require a lot of features or tag into it to capture, then to be honest, a 4,000 camera and even 1,000 camera doesn't make that much difference.
Yep. Yeah. So the best answer is you will know when it's time to upgrade your camera. If you have a nice one already, you'll be spoiled. You won't know. But if you have a limited camera and you run into limitations, and you do what you can to get around the limitation, if you can't, then you'll know when it's time to upgrade. Then it'll be justifiable.
If you like those wise men say, when the time comes, you will know.
Yes, Grasshopper. You will know. You will know.
I love the
are
we running out of time?
Yeah, we're running out of time, but we just want to mention one more comment. Spooky says, yeah, makes sense. You guys are heroes. Thank you, Spooky. I don't think we're heroes, but we're glad to help you on your decision. For sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. So with that, I think it's a good time to wrap up the video. We made our arguments between the, well, let me show this picture one more time here. The argument between the EOS R5 versus GFX50, price comparison, as well as nostalgic regions, as well as features and benefits of the features, and what really matters to you. If some features matter that you want, then get it. If some features don't matter and your favorite form factor or style, then those are the reasons for your justification too. So there's no right or wrong answer. Jeremy here is a professional photographer, but he wants the GFX for what he uses it for, and I'm a professional photographer as well as a videographer, and I love the EOS R5 for what it provides. So there's no right or wrong answer, but that's the result of this versus comparison.
No one wins here.
No one wins, but we have a better understanding of the camera and we respect each other for it, right?
Always.
All right. Well, with that, I'll let Jeremy say any final words before we wrap it up.
I would say that I really want to get that GFX50 out now, seeing that it's $1,000 off.
Yeah.
Because before, I think like a couple of weeks ago, I saw that it's $1,000 off is used. Now it's brand new. So I was like, oh, I'm going to get it.
Yeah, the GFX.
Only 11 left, right?
Medium format, 11 left. I mean, if you have that camera, dude, that just... Okay, if you have a... it's a medium format camera. I don't know. That's just so amazing to have a medium format camera. That... As a professional photographer, a medium format used to be unobtainable unless you're shooting like $10,000 wedding. But to be able to buy one for $3,500 now, that's pretty incredible.
Just keep waiting. I think Fuji is making one medium format camera which is cheaper than a full frame.
For sure, for sure.
So they want to take over that market.
Yeah, Fujifilm is pretty awesome. Yeah, they're pretty crazy, right? They don't make full frame cameras. They make APS-C crop sensor and they make medium format cameras. So whatever they focus on, they really focus on it in terms of delivering high performance at great value, and they don't compete against the rest. They're just one level above it. So they just compete their own field.
Yeah,
anyway,
Yep.
Right. Anyway, that wraps up our video segment for today's live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the comments. Sebastian, you were great. Spooky, you were great. John, you were great. We love all your comments. Feel free to follow us on Amazon Live. Feel free to follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/pixelstabbers. We're also on Instagram at pixelstabbers as well. Check us out on Facebook. And yeah, if you have any question, let us know. We're always here to help. We like to talk photography. We like to share our knowledge. We have tons of experience shooting weddings and portraits and other events. So ask away. We're always happy to share. But with that, have a great night. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Adios.
Good night.
Bye. Signing out and signing out. So we are